Good morning. Welcome to this gathering. Welcome to SSUC, Spiritual Seekers United in Community, here in this place in South Edmonton, here online. Welcome wherever you join us from today. You're part of who we are. And welcome to this place of spiritual exploration. Who knows what we will discover, what wisdom we might learn from each other on any given time we gather. And it's not just the wisdom that comes from our readings or our reflections from here, but the wisdom that we share with each other that is so important as we gather with each other. So welcome to this place, to a community of diversity. We've all got different ideas, different backgrounds and experiences, and we come and we bring that to each other. And we come to a community where no matter who we are welcome. All ages, sizes, colors, cultures, all sexualities, genders, all religions, traditions, all people, period. So welcome to each and every one of you. In this wildfire season, there's deeply felt anxiety around us about the fires burning in BC, in Alberta, in Northwest Territories, and beyond. And those fires that threaten to destroy property or people's homes or people's well-being, and we recognize that there's hard work going on. Work by firefighters and pilots and ground crews, people administering and organizing people's evacuations. And so we think about all of those who are working to minimize loss and save lives. And we're also thinking about all those people displaced by these fires today. The destruction, the anxiety, just not being at home and not knowing what your home, if you will have a home to return to. So we begin this gathering today with that in mind, to know that the world is always filled with anxiety, but in specific ways. We bring a sense of our spirited calm to our living, and we bring a sense of our strength, not just for ourselves, but for others, because there's importance in strengthening ourselves so that we might be a strength for those we encounter. So in that spirit, we're invited to open ourselves to compassion. We open ourselves to deep wisdom, knowing that we're each important, we're each valuable, we're each able to live wholly and make a difference in our communities, in our families, in our world. And so today we light our gathering candle. And yes, folks that join us at home still light their gathering candles at home, and so we recognize that this light, wherever it burns, joins us together as one. We enter this time with our minds and our hearts and our bodies open to the needs of the world and our own depths of understanding, and we gather in that spirit today as we acknowledge the land. Thank you, Margaret.
We respect the First Peoples, the Cree, the Dene, the Anishinaabe, the Saulteaux, the Nakota Sioux, the Blackfoot, the Métis, and Inuit south of the 60th parallel, the First Peoples of the land, which we are humbled and honored to borrow. As fires burn in many areas around the earth, we learn and are mindful of the practice of controlled burning in which the Indigenous ancestors engaged. We learn and are reminded of the water and wetlands claiming their pure, life-giving place. We learn and are reminded of the sacred air which yearns to be the lungs of our breath. We learn and are reminded of the rich earth upon which we journey and whose depths of life-giving sustain us. We are grateful for your teachings, People and Land of Treaty 6.
I'm not just welcome, I belong. With kindred spirits we are strong. I'm not alone, we are together. We share one heart, love is our song. With each other we find community, bridging life and meaning, sharing honestly. I'm not just welcome, I belong. With kindred spirits we are strong. I'm not alone, we are together. We share one heart, love is our song. Love will be a great source of strength and guide. Love just as we are, our light will shine with pride. I'm not just welcome, I belong. With kindred spirits we are strong. I'm not alone, we are together. We share one life, love's our song. Hearts of fire to the wonders of our lives. Learning, sharing, stirring till the planet thrives. I'm not just welcome, I belong. With kindred spirits we are strong. I'm not alone, we are together. We share one heart, love is our song.
We have a few minutes to share some of the upcoming things in the life and the work of our community, and I will just share one or two as we get going here. For many years, we have had a Sunday gathering in September where we've made it our focus to have a welcome for those who are coming back from summer activities, those who are joining us fresh and new after the summer, and we've called it Welcome Fest, and we are planning that for Sunday, September the 17th, and this year, I am looking for some help. If you're interested in helping think of how we might do that, what are some ways we could share food with each other after the gathering, offer some children's activities, get the word out to the community. We don't have to start from scratch. We've done this before, but some help. If you're willing to help, let me know, let the office know, and we would love to get on to planning kind of a fun hour or two after our gathering on the 17th. I want to report, I can't report fully on Camp Dragonfly. It's in process. Camp Dragonfly has been meeting here in this space and outside from Friday afternoon through yesterday and through today as well. This morning, the 85 to 90 campers are with their counselors at swimming. They're swimming at a pool, outdoor pool in the city. They are having a good time, I'm sure, and then will make their way back here by bus after lunch. And it's a fantastic experience. I met as many of these campers and counselors on Friday afternoon as I could, and they were excited. Just so you know, part of Camp Dragonfly has always been community dinner. And that's been where parents, adult friends, and supporters and allies have come to celebrate the end of Camp Dragonfly with the campers. We are also invited to this community dinner. It happens here in this room at 4:30 this afternoon. You think that's an early dinner, but 4:30, there's some mingling time, there's some introductions and that kind of thing, and then dinner. Anyone from the SSUC community is welcome to come to the community dinner this afternoon. So if you would like to show your ally support of Camp Dragonfly, it would be a great way to show them that we care. There's something afoot. So let's let that happen.
Hey, Bonnie. Do you think we should be saying anything yet?
I don't know if we should tell them too much yet. What do you think?
Maybe just a teaser?
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So you know that there's something going on December 2nd? Usually it's a cookie walk. What, you want to tell them what else is happening?
Well, it doesn't happen till December the 2nd. There will be artisans, all kinds of wonderful things happening, and these things.
So if you need any information about the artisan market, information's in the morning messenger, and otherwise you're going to be getting contacted for those things. Okay.
It's our time for all ages. That means today, a story. Anyone want a story? Well, whether anyone comes to the carpet or not, I'm going to sit here. Good morning. Hello, kiddos. The book today I've chosen is called 88 Instruments. It's by Chris Barton, illustrated by Lewis Thomas. All right, here we go. 85, 86, 87, 88. That's how many pounding, surrounding, astounding, mound of sounding instruments are in this shop. I can take lessons on only one. Not 75 or 64 or 33 or 12. One, says Dad. For now, says Mom. Your pick, says Dad. Within reason, says Mom. Oh, how am I supposed to pick just one? Do I pick the squeeziest? Do I pick the wheeziest? The easiest and breeziest? Ding. Or how about the slidiest, the squonkiest, the blowiest, or the honkiest? Or maybe the tootiest or grooviest or shiniest, or maybe just the tiniest. There's also the strummiest and the thrummiest. The smashiest and the crashiest, the drummiest and bashiest. The twangiest, the rowdiest, the loudiest, and the crowdiest. Or the plink. Thank you. It's so clear. Plunk. So right. So right for me. Plunk. I'm going to learn the plinkiest, the plunkiest, and here to there, the spunkiest, the piano. But wait. But wait. But wait. But wait. There are so many keys to keep straight. So many to master. How many are there? 1, 12, 33, 64, 75, 88! 88 keys and 88 sounds, and 88 sounds like a lot. Ugh. But you know what? I'll just learn it one plink, one plunk, one note at a time. And soon I'll be ready for all 88. Oh, that's the end of the book. I read this book to you because I wanted to ask you if you have a favorite musical instrument. Drums. The loudest, crashiest, bashiest. Anyone else have any favorite instruments? Piano? Grown-ups? Any favorite instruments? The bass. The guitar. The cello. The violin. Oh, the saxophone. Lots of people have different favorite instruments. The flute. Nice. I think there's even more than 88 instruments in the world. There were 88 in this shop. And this person in the story picked the piano, but there's a lot of instruments we could pick in this shop. I don't know when I was reading this, which one sounded really cool to you? Did any sound real cool? The drums, of course. I like this squeeziest one. This accordion sounded fun to me. It's fun to squeeze something. I don't know. I don't know. There's so many fun ones. We could learn them all, but, you know, like Mom or Dad said, just one at a time, please. There are so many instruments. Here's why I chose this book. Because there might be a lot of instruments, and we might have a favorite, but it takes all of the instruments coming together, a whole bunch of instruments coming together to make a beautiful sound like an ensemble or an orchestra or a band or exactly, or whatever. It takes a whole bunch, right? And it's fun to play by yourself, and it's good to...
Sometimes there's going to be a lead singer.
Yes, lead singer. We can't forget singing, because this is an instrument too, our voice. But when they come together, it's pretty amazing too. So it's good to play by yourself, but it's also great to play with other people. And that's why choosing one instrument is fun, but it's even more fun when you can choose an instrument and then play it with a whole bunch of people. That's also fun. It's kind of the way we are with our friends. It's great to play with our friends, and then when you're done playing with your friends, and you kind of think, I'd like to kind of go to my room and be myself for a while.
Says by Chris Barton.
Yeah, that's right. Chris Barton wrote that book.
Is that you?
No, that's not me.
Does your name?
My name is Chris, you're right. I have a different last name. So there we go. It's good to be by ourselves, and it's good to be with other people. It's good to play an instrument, and it's good to play with other people. So that's the great thing about friends and community. We've got both. So thanks for coming to the Carpet, reading this story. There's lots of other books at the back, or there's activities at the back. You can do lots of stuff. Play in the toy room. There's lots to do today. Let's sing a song. It's our focus song for the day.
We are joined together in a bond of love, with cords of freedom and our duty. Connected in the Spirit, our spirits are strong in a bond of wonder and of beauty. Made by all of us, for all of us, fashioned by everybody's hands. All our differences, all we share, woven into many colored strands. And this bond will hold us through the storm and encourage us when hope seems gone. Knowing that together we belong, we'll extend our care to the ends of the earth, and love will ever be our song. Shared by all of us, with all of us, offered with love that's full and free. Chords of sympathy, chords of joy, stronger for our mutuality. And this bond will hold us through the storm and encourage us when hope seems gone. Knowing that together we belong, we'll extend our care to the ends of the earth, and love will ever be our song.
This song by Scott Kearns that we just sang, it uses the image of a rope to illustrate our connection to each other and how we take steps along the spiritual journey. It's a lovely image to build a song around, because there's a reason that ropes are made up of multiple cords and strands. They wrap around each other to give it strength, with the obvious connection being our role as individuals in community. As community, we've always understood the need to balance a spirituality that is quiet and contemplative with one that's active and contagious. In expressing our way for living, we all need both, as it's been put, enclosure, alone time, and encounter, together time. We all need a balance of that. We all kind of know where we fit on various spectrums of where we find most comfort and most rejuvenating, whether it's with others or by ourselves. There was once a time we called that introverted or extroverted, but it's this time of rejuvenation and time of where we get our best and focused energy. Is it with others or is it by ourselves? But wherever we are on that spectrum does not take away the fact that we all need both. We all need both. John Vanier, a Canadian spiritual writer and contemplative, wrote these words: "Solitude and community belong together. Each requires the other, as do the center and circumference of a circle. Solitude without community leads to loneliness and despair. But community without solitude hurls us into a void of words and feelings." That's the genius of being part of community. The alone mediated through the together, and the together mediated through the alone, wherever we are. I think on this theme about what we've learned during the pandemic, we were, many of us, alone or alone with only those in our households. And some of us thrived in that atmosphere, and some of us withered in that atmosphere, and some of us just rolled with whatever. But I think about this community and what happened during the pandemic, and it's only, 2-3 years now distant from when that first transpired in 2020, that I think about the way we came together online. Many folks, not everyone, how many came together online. Though we weren't together, we felt it. And so many people shared with each other and with us as spiritual leaders how important that was, to feel a part of something despite being apart. And we didn't just find that in our spiritual community. We found that in, the Zoom singing things we did, or the Zoom lessons on how to do something new, or the online lectures, or the online groups that we all felt a part of, and the way we connected with family over dinners on the computer and all of that stuff. But we sort of lived out the motto: we eat together even if it isn't at one table. We live together even if it isn't in one house. We meet together even if it isn't in one chapel or gathering space. This paradox of being alone together, of being present to one another as community of individuals, is to recognize that the inner journey, the landscape of the heart, is not an end in itself. There's a lot of good stuff in the landscape of the heart. But it's not the only thing. There's a lot of good things in the togetherness of community, but it's not the only thing. All spiritual disciplines are to better equip us to engage the world of others in the landscape of the land, in the outer journey. This we're also learning in the pandemic, that not just our spiritual community, but many, 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 if not most, are now online. And it brings us to this place where we ask ourselves, Could we just continue that way? Why can't we all just meet online? We did it for 3 years when we had to. Why not do it? And the temptation is great to think that spirituality can be solely a lone exercise. Now, this has always been around. This has always been around. We're always tempted to think that we can do this on our own. The bookstores in the self-help aisle, in the spirituality aisle, are filled with books about, read this, we'll become whole people. And there's wisdom there, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of wisdom there. But we've taken it apart even more in recent years. This idea that alone and together need each other. I have no idea where I am on my paper. I'll just confess that right now. Right. Yes, I was saying how all spiritual disciplines are to better equip us to engage the world of others, the outer journey. So we are blessed to be a blessing. We're valuable so that we can show others they're valuable. We need the inwardness of knowing who we are in ourselves in order to know who we are in the wider world. Knowing that together we belong, Scott Kearns writes, we'll extend our care to the ends of the earth, and love will ever be our song. Without togetherness, the wisdom, the experiences, the stories, the caring for others, we'd have no ideas with which to judge our own. We'd have no sounding board, to use a piano term, for which the individual notes to bounce off and mix together with the other sounds. We'd have no one to tell us, quite frankly, that life doesn't revolve around me alone, so get with it. We are both a single strand and a woven cord. Again, Scott, we are joined together in a bond of love with cords of freedom and of duty. Now, let's not just skip by the second part of that phrase, with cords of freedom and of duty. Because doesn't that say freedom to be who we are and duty to care for each other? The freedom to delve into the landscape of the heart, to discern ourselves, who we are, what we need, and to be bound together in the duty of care for each other. We need both simultaneously, or we'll be in danger of either getting lost in the maze of the inner life or lost in the perplexity of the noisy crowd around us. To have both enclosure and encounter provides the necessary checks and balances so that we can have the best of both. There was a teacher once named Jesus. You probably have heard of him. And the wisdom is not in any particular story he told or in any particular phrase that we might pull out of the writings of Jesus' followers, but it's in kind of the whole big picture sense of his life. When we get a sense of all the things he was doing in his kind of public life, he had this pattern. He had this pattern of with folks and then away to the wilderness. Teach and travel, then find solitude. Then heal and teach some more, and then pull back and spend time alone. We just kind of get this sense, and no matter what rendition, what gospel, what telling of the story of his life, we get this pattern. As Parker Palmer observed, it's like breathing in and breathing out. Together they give life, not just one of them. Try going even 1 minute just inhaling. Not so fun. So perhaps the question for us to ponder is where we are most comfortable, and then to ask ourselves, where are we too comfortable? Are we so wanting to talk with others, to learn from them, to absorb the wisdom and sharing of a community of journeyers that we aren't doing the solo work we might need? Are we ignoring the landscape of our own heart? Because, let's be honest, there's frighteningly dark things in the landscape of our heart. Things we've done and do, things we've said and say, difficult and challenging twists and turns on the journey. But go there we must if we're going to breathe in and breathe out. And then on the other side, are we so comfortable with solitude and introspection that we get lost in the rabbit hole of our own thoughts and ideas? And we have failed to kind of check them out with others as often as we should. Rather than just grasping an idea and running with it, have we talked about it? Have we thought about it? Have we got to a place where we haven't let those we love and care about, those we respect and journey with, round the sharp corners of ourselves? That those corners can be smoothed by shared wisdom. So once again, Scott reminds us that there's an interplay between what we bring and what we take. What we bring to others that is fully and freely us, and what we rein in when we rein in our own needs for the sake of others who may need something different. This focused song, I think, says something about community, and it says that we embrace both our freedom and our responsibility of action and reflection, both of them. Always in light of what we learn about ourselves and from each other, we take action. And then having taken action, we come back and we reflect about what that means and what it teaches us. And in this whole process of action and reflection, alone and together, we adjust our views and our practices accordingly. We aren't one thing, we keep evolving. And we only do that because of our interplay with each other. When we all do that, we ultimately create a mutual community that serves us all. So I thought I would end with a story. A young teacher charged with some energetic children introduced a game called Giants, Wizards, and Ogres. You have to decide right now, the teacher said, which are you, a giant, a wizard, or an ogre? At that, a young student tugged at the teacher's shirt and asked politely, "Where do the mermaids go?" The teacher told him that there are no mermaids. And he responded, "Oh, yes, there are. I'm a mermaid. Where do I go?" And so the game, this young one knew that he was what he was about. And he wasn't going to give up either on his identity or the game, because he wanted to play the game. He intended to take his place wherever mermaids fit into the scheme of things. And so the teacher, being a good teacher, changed the game to giants, wizards, ogres, and mermaids. And that silly story reminds us that we always need to ask where the mermaids stand. How about all the others that don't fit into our preconceived boxes and categories and pigeonholes? Answer that question and we will build communities that matter. And we are pretty good, I think, at answering that question. Where do the mermaids stand? It requires effort and hard work. It requires individual strands and cords that tie us together. And in the end, we'll sing this song with strength and purpose, I think. Shared by all of us, with all of us, offered with love that's full and free. Chords of sympathy, chords of joy, stronger for our mutuality. That's community. Each of us, individuals, mermaids, ogres, wizards, whatever you want to call yourself. And we'll find a place for you in our game. And we'll be stronger for it together. So may it be so, always, and in so many ways.
A heart poured out in compassion, a hope expressed in song, a soul receptive to mystery, a sense that we all belong. This is the glimpse of the journey. This is the hope of our song, to live more closely as we pray, connected and one our life long. A dream of people as kindred, a cause of justice and peace, an urge to serve and help others, the voice of kindness increased. This is the glimpse of the journey. This is the hope of our song, to live more closely as we pray, connected and on our life long. A link to sacred and others, a part of nature's hour, an opening spirit within us, a trust in facing each hour. This is a glimpse of the journey. This is the hope of our song, to live more closely as we pray, connected and one our life long.
As the energy of light wafts into energy of smoke, we take the wisdom, words, and songs into our own energies, our lives, our week. And now we join our voices and hearts in our words of intentions. May the sounds of our lives be filled with melody and lyrics that affirm, encourage, cherish, and impact our world in positive ways. We celebrate with joyous refrain, and we sing mournful songs for those who struggle. We sing songs of strength in solidarity for those striving for freedom and safety, those working for peace and justice. We affirm that we all have a part and are invited into the singing. May we know that together, through our work, we can create music that will make the world more beautiful. As today's music comes back to our hearts and minds throughout the week, may we be reminded of the values on which we're centered, the love with which we live, and the rhythm of compassion and justice that direct the music. May it be so.
Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song, no one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Love the still point of the circle, round which all creation turns. Nothing lost but echoed always as we grow and learn. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song, no one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Let our hearts touch our horizons, so encompassing and small. Let our loving know no borders, faithful to life's call. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song, no one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Let the dreams we dream be larger than we've ever dreamed before. Let the dream of love be in us, open every door. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song, no one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide.